Tutorial number 3, Movement Point Distribution. The details of how movement points are assigned into character activations can seem a bit tricky until you get your mind around it. In this tutorial, we will try to break it down into a simple and understandable process. Characters act in order of decreasing swiftness during any segment in which they have an activation. They will get to act for a number of total movement points each turn equal to 7 plus their speed. These movement points are assigned to activations during turn segments. The 7 segments of each turn in order are segments 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 1B, 2B, and 3B respectively. Movement points are assigned in increments of 7 to segments in a specified order until all movement points have been assigned to an activation. If fewer than 7 movement points remain, assign what are left instead. Once there are no more movement points left to assign for a character, move on to the next character until all movement points for all characters have been assigned to an activation. The intent behind how these movement points are assigned is to provide as much intermixing of activations as is practical. While a turn-based game can never be completely real-time, the intermixing of activity can help the game to feel a little more real-time in practice. Think of sorting the segments into a first portion of the turn and a second portion of the turn. The first portion consists of segments that include an A. The second portion consists of the segments that include a B. Movement is assigned by alternating between the first and second portions of the turn. The order in which movement is applied to segments is as follows: 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A. So, for this example, let's make a turn order for 2 characters, Roniel and a Locust. Roniel has 11 speed and 105 swiftness. The Locust has 5 speed and 42 swiftness. Roniel has the higher swiftness, so all his activations will always be placed before any activations of the Locust. So then, let's go ahead and assign activations for Roniel. 11 speed would give Roniel 18 movement points during the turn. We would assign an activation for 7 movement points in segment 1A, an activation for 7 movement points in segment 1B, and the final activation for 4 movement points would be assigned in segment 2A. The Locust has only 5 speed, giving him 12 movement points during the turn. We would assign an activation for 7 movement points in segment 1A, and then assign the last 5 movement points to segment 1B. If we were to play out a turn, Roniel would have an activation for 7 movement points, followed by the Locust for 7 movement points. Next, Roniel would have an activation for 4 movement points. After that, Roniel would have a final activation for 7 movement points, followed by the Locust's final activation for 5 movement points. Then we would proceed to the next turn, and the process would repeat. This concludes tutorial number 3, Movement Point Distribution. In the next tutorial, we will cover ranges.